Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today we're tackling, well, a really big one, the Barbie movie from 2023. I mean, it wasn't just a film, was it?
No, not at all. It was kind of everywhere, a whole cultural moment.
Exactly. It just dominated everything, social media, fashion, with that whole hashtag Barbiecore thing.
Merchandise selling out instantly. Yeah.
So we want to look past just the, box office success or the reviews and really examine how this one movie managed to become such a point of, well, societal saturation.
That's precisely the core of our deep dive today.
Yeah.
For you listening, it's a fascinating case study, really. It shows how you can engineer culture, almost. Our mission here is to explore that intersection where genuine social commentary meets huge blockbuster entertainment and this incredibly intense commercial marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's the tension I found so interesting. How did they pull it off? Selling, I don't know, hot pink Crocs while getting people talking about the patriarchy and, like, gendered labor.
It's a tightrope walk for
sure.
sure.
How do you critique capitalism while also, being peak capitalism?
And arguably, it was one of the most successful versions of that tightrope walk we've seen in ages. The film had to be smart enough, thoughtful enough to feel relevant, but also accessible, palatable enough to make serious money.
Okay, so let's start with the message itself, the sort of accessible of feminism part. What the movie did really well, it seems, was taking these complex feminist ideas and making them clear, digestible, almost simple in a way. You see Barbie exploring empowerment, agency, trying to find her own way.
Right, that search for autonomy.
Yeah, and balancing all these societal expectations against who she wants to be.
And I think what's really fascinating there is how it made invisible things visible.
What do you mean?
Well, things like women's emotional labor.
Right.
All those social pressures.
The stuff often just dismissed or overlooked.
Exactly, especially in big mainstream movies. The film put a spotlight on that. Barbie's journey, defining herself beyond the stereotypes, it was a kind of universal entry point.
It definitely wasn't threatening, which probably helped it reach so many people. And the message clearly landed. But how vital was that accessibility piece for making it a global phenomenon, not just a niche film?
Oh, it was everything. Absolutely crucial. It brought basic feminist ideas to huge audiences, teenagers, families, people worldwide.
People who might not pick up, say, a gender studies textbook.
Precisely. It gave them the vocabulary. I mean, just look at the America Ferrera model.
Yeah, that went everywhere.
It did, because it took these really complex, everyday paradoxes of being a woman and broke them down into such simple, relatable terms. It just clicked for millions online.
It articulated something people felt but maybe couldn't quite name.
Spot on. It gave words to that shared feeling.
But that accessibility, that simplification, it brings criticism too, right?
Of course. That's the immediate tension.
The strength is reaching everyone, but the weakness might be, well, watering it down, risking commodification.
Exactly. Critics jump on that. Is it truly meaningful if it has to be simplified that much?
Does it become feminism light?
Kind of. Academic critiques pointed out that, while it did a decent job on a surface level with gender, it didn't really dig deep into systemic issues.
Like intersectionality.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
The film mostly centered on a specific kind of experience, white, middle-class womanhood. It didn't delve much into how race or class or sexuality changes those pressures.
So it was broad appeal over deep structural critique.
That seems to be the trade-off they made. To be a massive blockbuster, maybe it had to be inclusive in audience, but a bit exclusive in the depth of its analysis.
That makes sense. A calculated choice. Okay, so that's the message. Accessible, maybe simplified. But it only went global because of the vehicle. It didn't just wander into cinemas, it arrived in style.
In a hot pink convertible, yes.
Let's talk about how they engineered that saturation, because the marketing, honestly, was a masterclass.
It really was, and the foundation was this incredibly strong, unified visual identity. Barbiecore. That specific pink, the playful, maybe slightly campy, over-the-top look, they hammered that home with absolute consistency. Every poster, every trailer, every ad.
You knew instantly what it was. It created immediate recognition. And it was designed to go viral, wasn't it?
Totally. The aesthetic itself became the marketing. People wanted to participate in it.
And participate they did. But it wasn't just the look. It was the sheer scale of the partnerships.
Oh, completely. This wasn't just movie tie-ins. It was like a full consumer landscape takeover.
High fashion, Crocs, Xbox, Airbnb, food chains.
You name it.
Yeah.
It inserted Barbie into everyday life. You weren't just seeing ads. You could wear Barbie, eat Barbie, theoretically live in a Barbie house.
It made the film feel inescapable, but in a kind of fun way for a lot of people.
Right. And then there was the digital engagement piece. That was crucial.
Turning viewers into marketers, basically.
Absolutely. You relied heavily on user-generated content. Those AR filters, the selfie generator, where you could put yourself on the poster.
Everyone was doing that for a while.
Exactly. Highly shareable stuff. People weren't just passively consuming the ads. They were actively creating more marketing content.
And amplifying it themselves.
Organically. Yeah. Which meant millions of impressions online without Mattel necessarily paying directly for every single one.
Less reliance on traditional ads, more feeling like a grassroots thing, even though it clearly wasn't.
It created this constant buzz, this pervasive presence. Very smart.
Okay, so we have the message accessible feminism and the vehicle, this relentless pink participatory marketing engine. Now let's get into that intersection you mentioned. When pink meets profit, the synergy, but also the tension.
Right, because they definitely work together. The feminist themes gave the Barbie brand, let's be honest, a brand with some baggage.
A lot of baggage.
Some real cultural relevance, depth, made it defensible, even cool. And then, in turn, the marketing machine took those feminist messages and blasted them worldwide.
So the viral moments were often about the dialogue itself.
Often, yeah. America Ferrera's speech, Ken's whole existential crisis.
Yeah.
Those became memes, discussion points. The brand and the ideas spread together.
But the critics argue that's where the problem lies, that it's feminism sponsored by Mattel.
That's the core critique, the commodification of these ideas.
Sometimes called pinkwashing.
Or activist marketing, yeah.
Yeah.
The danger is that a big corporation takes a real movement, like feminism, and just packages it, turns it into an aesthetic, something you can buy, reduces deep issues to a trendy slogan on a T-shirt.
So instead of real action, you get retail therapy.
Sort of, or what some call slacktivism, the feeling that buying the product is your contribution to the cause.
And our sources suggest that to make the film a huge financial success, they had to intentionally pull back from deeper critiques.
It seems likely. To maximize the box office, the merchandise sales. You probably can't afford to be too radical. You need to be disruptive enough to get attention, but not so disruptive you alienate huge chunks of the audience or, importantly, those corporate partners.
So commercial needs set the limit for how far the social critique could go.
That's often the reality in these big ventures. It's a balancing act, and commerce usually holds the heavier weight.
And maybe nothing captures this whole synergy and tension better than those pink Crocs.
Yes, the pink Crocs phenomenon.
Tell us about that specific collaboration. Why was it such a perfect example?
Well, it was brilliant marketing, firstly. Limited edition, that signature hot pink, the Barbie branding. The key was scarcity and aesthetics. And what happened?
Sold out instantly.
Globally, within minutes. And then social media just exploded. Unboxing videos, people showing them off, people complaining they missed out. Pure FOMO.
So on one level, you could say the Crocs represented playfulness, self-expression, maybe even defying traditional fashion norms, tying into the film's themes.
You could frame it that way, yes.
Yeah.
Empowerment through comfortable pink footwear, defining your own style.
But on the other level,
it was textbook manufactured scarcity driving viral hype for a commercial product. Empowerment might have been the theme, but limited stock and getting users to generate buzz was the mechanism for profit.
A perfect fusion of message and marketing.
Exactly. It showed how potent that combination could be. The sources really highlight how creating that kind of instant sold-out moment is the ultimate sign of strategic success in today's market.
Okay, so stepping back, what are the big cultural takeaways here? For creators, for brands, for anyone watching this landscape?
Well, first, Barbie really showed how you can tackle socially relevant topics in mainstream entertainment without being preachy or alienating, while still aiming for, massive blockbuster success.
So what are the key ingredients for that?
A super strong, consistent visual identity is crucial. That Barbiecore look was non-negotiable. Second, you absolutely need smart cross-platform engagement. You have to get the audience involved, make them part of spreading the message.
That handles how the reach, but what about the message itself, the integrity?
That's trickier. It points towards needing authenticity and, ideally, long-term commitment. If a brand just jumps on a social cause because it's trendy right now,
people see through that pretty quickly.
They often do. It can backfire badly if it feels exploitative. Barbie, for all its complexities, had decades of cultural history to draw on, which maybe made the conversation feel slightly more earned,
Yeah.
even if highly commercialized.
And that idea of audience participation seems vital going forward.
Oh, absolutely. Passive advertising just doesn't cut it anymore, not in the same way. Campaigns where the audience helps create and share the story using tools you provide. That's powerful. Barbie didn't just sell tickets, it invited people into its world.
So, for you listening, trying to navigate this world where every cause seems like it could be the next marketing campaign, what's the final word?
I think it's recognizing the duality here. The film did successfully push feminist ideas, even simplified ones, into the global mainstream on an unprecedented scale. That reach is undeniable. But it achieved that reach by sacrificing some depth and by fully embracing hypercapitalism. It proves the line between cultural commentary and massive commerce isn't just thin. Sometimes it barely exists.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on, maybe. Does selling a revolutionary idea wrapped in pink plastic inevitably dilute it? Or is achieving that massive scale, even if simplified, the most effective way to make any impact in today's world? How do you, as an audience member, measure the authenticity when empowerment comes with a price tag? Something to think about until the next time.